you see, looking up from the ground, blood-red clouds boiling across the sky.
You did ask me to bring the thunder.
Dejin! Help! I've got the chalice, please!
Well, if they're following you, then I guess that takes care of a loose end for me.
All of you feel the earth beneath you shake and crack and break.
I feel that I have failed both of you, and I am sorry for that.
This has nothing to do with you being a bad leader.
Do you want a countdown? Oh, I think I want a countdown.
I wanted
3,
to help. I always had good
2,
intention. I
1.
did not deserve to die.
Now.
The Lucky Die podcast is a weekly 5e Dungeons & Dragons actual play podcast. Join our adventure every Monday wherever you download podcasts by searching for The Lucky Die.
Welcome back to Moon Harbor Heroes. Today's issue is Cataclysm Crew, issue 20, The Wrath of the Godking. On the cover, Tyrannus flies, staring out at the reader, with his eyes glowing with electrical power. Below him, a battlefield is littered with the corpses of soldiers from the time period. Mixed up in the wreckage, we see the bodies of Machina, Rascal King, Flyby, Blue Samurai, and Tatiana. We turn the page, and our story begins. We open on a panel of Tatiana and Alan facing off against each other. They're kind of in the middle of this big open courtyard area. Last we left, she was on the throne, but we've cut to her standing, and they're facing off. Her sword is drawn.
Alan has a lightning bolt in his hand.
Oh, okay, cool. Alan has a lightning bolt in his hand. The armies are all kind of pulled back and leaning up against the walls, chilling, and they're waiting for something to happen. So, Alan, what are you going to do?
So Alan is actually, now he is holding that lightning bolt in the form of a sword, but it is a lightning bolt. You can tell it's a lightning bolt. And where is Tatiana on the quote-unquote battlefield? City
she's probably 20, 30 feet in front of you.
So Alan is going to charge his burns, and then immediately he is going to he's going to basically fly at Tatiana as quickly as possible and swing his lightning bolt in a manner that he knows she'll block it, but it's basically to throw her into the sky.
Excellent. So it sounds like you're trying to take her footing away from her?
That is the idea, yes.
So then that would be directly engaging a threat. So go ahead and roll plus danger.
Okay, so I got to burn first. Do I need to do the burn first?
Oh, sorry, you're using your burn. Yeah, go ahead and charge your burn.
That's an 8, which is, I mark a condition. I think I'm going to mark insecure for my condition.
Interesting. God King is insecure.
Yeah, because he's not sure if this is going to work.
Yeah, go ahead and roll to directly engage a threat.
That's a 9.
Perfect. So you can choose one.
Impress, surprise, or frighten the opposition. And I think I want this to be a frighten.
Perfect. So you're throwing the lightning bolt at her to knock her into the air?
No. I'm going to use it as if it were a great sword and swing it upwards, knowing she's going to block it, but basically the force of her blocking it would launch her skyward.
Phenomenal. So yeah, you hit her and she goes launching into the air. You hit her sword as she blocks it, and she goes launching backwards into the air. And then she's wincing and in a bit of pain. And then as she kind of peaks the fall and she's starting to fall back, you see that all too familiar Tatiana smirk, and then she disappears. Before you have a second to react, she reappears behind you and just clocks you on the shoulder with the hilt of the blade. Can you go ahead and roll to take a powerful blow for me?
All right, I'll make that roll.
All
okay.
Right. So that was an 8. So on a 7 to 9, choose one from the 7 to 9 list.
Okay, so I'm going to lash out verbally, hoping to provoke hoping to provoke a teammate to foolhardy action. And yeah, typical kind of spelling, yes. So what I'm going to yell out is, as soon as she hits me, I'm going to yell to do two things at the same time here. Is I'm yelling to my men, on your guard! And then I'm going to scream. Actually, I'm going to scream Amber's name as I get hit. not really as a provoking, but it's like I'm hurt, and that was the first person to come to my mind.
Aww.
Which is super, super sweet. The mechanics of it say that you do provoke her. So I'm going to say that is a provoke there, even if it wasn't meant to be.
It's an 11, what that is.
Okay.
All right. So you get the carrot and the stick. So if you don't rise to foolhardy action, Alan, what do you think that cry was conveying? Do you think that cry was conveying, like, jump in and fight Tatiana for me? Do you think that cry was conveying, like, leave? What do you think that cry, if you had to sum it up, was conveying?
That was, I can't do this alone, and I know you're in the crowd.
Cool. So if you don't jump into action and fight Tatiana, Amber, then you take condition, and if you do it, we add a team to the pool.
Oh, I'm absolutely doing it. Fuck that bitch. Where is she?
They're in the middle of this big open field, and you are with the crowd on the outside.
Cool. I am going to run towards Alan and kind of like grab onto his arm because I would like a boost of electricity.
Perfect. Are you trying to lightning bolt her then, once he gives you that charge?
I think so.
I'm
Cool.
actually going to use one of my burns at the same time, and it'll be using boost, which spends 1 burn from my pool, which will bring me down to 2 burn, to supercharge a teammate's effort with my powers, giving them +1 to their roll as if I was to spend team from the pool.
Cool. Now that you have that charge as you're running up towards him, Amber, or running up towards them, Amber, you get the chance to attack Tatiana. What do you want to do?
So I feel like it's not quite lightning. It's more about concentrated electricity. She's like channeling it to make it, I guess, worse. So yeah, I want to take that fucking sword.
I love it!
All right, go ahead and roll to directly engage a threat.
Oh, hell yes. Check out that 11.
All right, so on a 10 plus, pick 2.
I'm taking something from them. I'm taking your fucking sword. And I want to impress, surprise, or frighten the opposition. Once I get it, I want the sword to just start like blazing with electricity. I want it to look like way cooler than it did when she was holding it.
Spectacular.
I love it.
Go ahead and describe those panels for me. Tell me exactly what all that looks like.
So Amber runs in and grabs Alan's arm. And then we get a panel where Amber turns to face Tatiana with like this huge grin on her face. This kind of like big grin of, oh, it is on. She reaches forward with one hand and kind of gives her a shock with one hand and takes the sword with the other. We get a panel where Amber's holding the sword and facing off with her, and the sword is just crackling with electricity. It's just the entire metal is electrified.
Can I
And
make
she-
it slightly to that?
Yeah.
I think you shock her and like send her flying, and then like we see like a close up on her as she turns around, and we get the shot of you from like underneath, so you're like look even taller with the sword crackling electricity.
Yes.
We see her hit the ground, and like the panel follows her, and then we cut back and we see that really cool shot of you.
I want to take the spotlight again for just a moment, and I want to use the other 2 burns I have, and I'm going to use move to move anywhere in the scene. And where I'm going to move is directly behind where she landed, because I'm assuming she landed on her feet. She's pretty good at that. And that was my first move.
Didn't she just fall?
Yeah, she just fell to, well, she got knocked back.
She felt like a 3-point stance.
Okay.
So Alan's gonna use move to use 1 burn to move behind her, directly behind her, kind of like you're gonna see lightning just crackle and he's gonna pop a thunderclap there, and he peers behind Tatiana, and then I'm gonna use a reality storm, and I am going to put hell into her face. And I'm not going to be spending any extra burn to prevent collateral damage in this case.
Perfect. I think we're going to get back there in a second. I think we'll get you moving, and then we'll get the reality storm in just 1 sec. But I want to jump over.
Okay, awesome.
I want to jump over to Al. Al, the girl you're crushing on, maybe, just got beat up by your 2 kind of teammates. What are you doing?
So I think at this point in time, Al is struggling because he doesn't really like Alan. Alan seems kind of like a dick so far, and he spoke with Max and doesn't want to upset Max, but he's also quote unquote in love. So I think Al's gonna try and portal in and try and save Tatiana.
Perfect. I think I'm going to have you go ahead and roll a defend right as he's about to do his reality storm.
Okay, what is the defend? Add a savior. How is my savior? Oh boy. It's your boy.
And hey, that's a 7, so that's a partial success.
So I think I know how it would happen.
So when it's against a PC, on a hit, you give them a -2 to their roll. So Reality Storm doesn't have a roll, right?
Reality Storm does have a roll. It is I roll freak instead of danger on a directly engage a threat.
Oh, cool. So let's have you go ahead and roll that now with the -2. And we'll see what happens. That is a 6.
That it is.
We go to team if someone wants to spend team.
Yep, I'm coming in.
Can I spend an anti-team?
You already took him down too.
Cool. So I think I'm going to walk you through what all these panels look like. So we see Alan land, and he's about to send a huge blast of electricity. And then Al jumps through the portal, lands right next to Tatiana. And I think you just cover her up with your body as both Alan and Amber just send this blast of electricity at you. And I think that I'm going to have you actually take the powerful blow instead of Tatiana, because you exposed yourself to danger, and then kind of choose one from that list. You can take something from them, or the list for directly engage.
Yeah, I will be creating an opportunity for my allies.
Cool. So yeah, you send this blast of electricity, and just as it's about to hit her, Alan appears and takes a blast of your electricity for you, or for her. So go ahead and roll to take a powerful blow. Perfect.
Can we spend our one team to bring that up to a 7?
Oof.
If you want to hurt your teammate, you can.
No, I'm making the joke because we have to make the joke every time.
Perfect. Al, how do you weather that storm? How do you weather that blow?
As the lightning hits, I'd open a portal between Tatiana and or underneath Tatiana and I, so that we would fall somewhere else, and it would still clip me as we were going through the portal and just kind of nick the side of me and still probably hurt like a bitch because it's lightning. But
perfect. Where do you and Tatiana land?
Man, I'm drunk. Somewhere not good.
Are you falling through the sky not good, or do you land in a basket of cabbages? Where are we?
In front of Lucy! In front of Lucy!
Sure, let's do in front of Lucy.
Cool. Lucy, where have you been this entire time?
I think I've just been watching. Is there a crowd that's watching this fight go down?
Yep. The performers in the festival, we found out were all dressed as Tatiana's army, but then all the civilians were all Tatiana's army was all dressed as the performers, and then we found out that all the civilians were actually members of Alan's army. And so all the crowd is all these soldiers, but their two leaders were we're taking care of this. So they all, following the code of the soldier, all hung back. So you're in a crowd of warriors dressed in Harlequin costumes and...
Okay, I was gonna say if there were kids and shit in the crowd, I would be getting them to safety, but never mind, not gonna do that. Yeah, I think I've just I've been watching. I made a joke earlier about how Lucy and Max were on the sidelines, just with iced coffees, watching this all go down. So that energy, but without the iced coffee.
Perfect.
I'm totally okay if Max and Squire are still sipping some that fermented juice.
I think the first thing that happens is you two fall through, and because you're a little tipsy, you kind of just crash land on the ground directly in front of Lucy and Max and Squire.
So I think Al's gonna hold his side where the lightning hit him and just in his drunken electrocuted state be they're gonna kill her. The heroes don't kill people. We gotta help her. And then I think Al is gonna fall a little unconscious.
I'm gonna catch him if he's collapsing. I'm gonna catch him.
Cool. I think he kind of crash landed mostly already on the ground, so he just kind of slumps over.
Max runs over to Al and looks up at Lucy. He's I think he's right. Alan's different. He scares me.
Tatiana looks at all of you and she's so what, are we getting out of here then?
in character. I don't know what to do because Amber, on the one hand, Amber, I think she is my friend, but we're all on the same team. So who I don't know I don't know this Alan guy, but I have so far little reason to I don't know. She's completely paralyzed. She has no idea what to do.
Max turns and looks at Tatiana and goes, "Well, I know I don't trust her, and I'm gonna try to punch her in the face. I'm gonna try to knock her out."
Cool. Go ahead and roll to directly engage a threat.
Oh, cool. I should probably look at my labels when we start games. That's a 4.
Oh shit.
Perfect. You swing the your fist at her, and she just catches it and she says, "I really thought you were smarter than that." And then you see her eyes kind of flash with this like bright red light, and suddenly all 5 of you, Squire's coming too. All 5 of you are somewhere just like in this like weird void plane. It's like this is not Earth. This is some like other area. And she's lets go of your hand, and then she like leans back, and suddenly a chair manifests behind her, and she's like, "Well, now you've done it." And we're gonna jump back over to Amber and Alan.
So how far away was all of that happening? Like how, like what is the distance we have to cross to get over to her?
I think you like were probably running. It's probably about 50 feet. You were probably running towards them as that conversation happened. And like I like to imagine that like you were probably like swinging the sword at the back of her head as they all disappeared.
Probably.
Her army looks around and is very confused. They're like looking at each other, and like a couple of them are like reaching for weapons, and others are being like, "No, don't fight right now."
Alan is going to turn around at this moment and look to both armies and just yell, "Stand down! Your leader is gone. This fight is over. Go home."
Go ahead and roll to provoke.
That's an 11.
They do it. They're immediately like, "Yeah, okay." They don't say the words because they don't speak English, but they all understand, and they're like, "We're gonna go." Like they like kind of awkwardly walk out, like shuffle. Their hands are like in their pockets, and there's a lot of like murmuring, and we don't really know what it says, but we can very clearly make out that it's like, "Well, that was not great," and the army is gone. Your army then goes to like knock on the doors to let all the civilians know that the other army is gone and we can start the festivities for real. And it leaves Amber and Alan alone on this big open field.
Where the fuck did she take them? Like Max, Lucy, Al, like they're gone. Ugh.
Alan's eyes are gonna like light up, and basically his eyes like light up really, really bright, and then they just go dark. Like you see 2 panels, really bright, and then back to its normal color. And he goes, "I can't feel her here. She probably leapt to another dimension or something." And this is probably the first time you've seen Alan just like de-tense since this entire thing started.
Wait, another dimension? How do we even get there?
We don't. Damn it. So, was the portaler on your team?
Yeah.
Great. Okay. So, the plans could change. We can go home. Okay. But we need them back here.
Yep.
I might know somebody who can help us.
At that moment, Lucan, the poet from earlier, the linguist, comes up. They're like, "Excuse me, sir?"
Lucan, so nice to see you. And Alan is going to run up to Lucan and give them a big hug and be like, "You're safe. That's awesome. Do you know of anyone who could help us find where they went?"
They turn pretty red, and then they like pull back, and they're like, I don't off the top of my head know anyone who could help, but we have other problems."
Other problems? And at this point, Alan is going to look back towards the town.
They turn back and they're like, "I've been consulting the research, and it seems that if you want to jump back forward through time, back to your own time, you have to do that at exactly midnight tonight. And it's according to this watch, which I think is pretty accurate, It's 11:20.
Well, we lost our portal people. Excellent.
Oh. Shit.
With that, we're gonna jump back to the group on the plane. Let's go to Lucy first. Lucy, Max just punched someone, or didn't, and then she transported everyone to this weird, like, misty gray open field that's, like, endless. What do you do?
I think this is probably a shock that snaps her back into it. She whips her head over at is it Tatiana?
Yep.
And is like, where are we?
Tatiana kind of shrugs and she's like, sometimes people can move through other dimensions, and this is the in-between place. I like to call it the Nether.
Max, where's Al at this point? Is Al still out?
I think Al's like out-ish. I think he could wake up at any minute whenever he wanted to.
Cool. Max looks down at Al and very quietly says, he doesn't have to stop between dimensions.
She smiles and she's like, I mean, maybe he just does it so quickly he doesn't know.
Lucy's gonna kind of roll her eyes at whatever's happening right now, and she still has her like backpack full of all of their modern stuff. I think she's gonna go digging through it to see if she can find like a bottle of water or like the world's largest band-aid for Al.
Sure, what do you have in your backpack? What's your backpack?
I mean, I think she probably has like a half-finished bottle of water and like maybe some Neosporin.
Perfect. I assume you're just pouring the water on Al's face.
Something like that. And maybe there's also like an old like knit beanie or something that we can use as like gauze or something to put pressure on the wound.
Yeah, the wound isn't like bleeding, it's just burned. It's like a pretty low grade burn.
Okay, so maybe then just like water and some Neosporin and like a wish and a prayer.
Cool. Al, do you wake up when they pour water on you?
I think Al kind of sputters back into life, like, where am I? Where are we? And I would like to imagine being electrocuted and woken up from being unconscious would kind of be pretty sobering. I don't know. It's never happened to me while drunk, so.
When Al wakes up, I'm gonna be like, "Oh, good, you're up." Then I'm gonna slap him on his good shoulder.
Is that like what is the energy behind that slap?
It's like, you idiot.
I'm gonna look at her and be like, I don't remember what happened. Why are you hitting me? Where are we?
If my comic knowledge is to be believed, the space between dimensions, so hell?
I always knew I'd end up in hell.
Tatiana kind of smiles and she's like, it's not hell, it's just nothing. We are nowhere. And she kind of smiles to herself and she's like, that feels very poetic in a mythological way,
Yeah, thanks, Odysseus.
She grins at you and she's like, I love a smart girl.
So how do we get back?
Oh, I can bring you back whenever we want. I'm just so enjoying this chat.
You mean whenever you want.
And she kind of smiles, that same smirk, and doesn't say anything.
Are we gonna age in this place? Like, what if you just never take us back? Like, food, water, like.
She looks at you and she's like, well, of course I'll take you back, cutie.
Al is gonna, like, at first, like, do, like, the yes where he brings his arm in, and then he, like, stops and he looks over and he's like, what about my friends?
I'll bring him back, but if I did leave them here, which I won't, but if I did, they would die hideous, painful, slow deaths, of course.
Al's gonna rub the back of his head and be like, I don't think I'm okay with that.
Max looks up at Al. Well, thanks. I'm glad that's where you draw the line.
Yeah, feeling real warm and fuzzy right now.
Squire crosses her arms with the rest of the group.
Yes. And I want to look at Tatiana and be like, what do you even want with Tyrannus? And I'm trying to pierce the mask.
Cool, go ahead and roll to pierce the mask. Okay, sweet.
When it's a mundane, I can roll it. Got a 12.
All right, so on a 12, you ask, what, 3?
Yeah, let me pull up that list. I'm going to ask, what do you intend to do? Specifically about Tyrannus, if I can. If not, that's fine.
She looks at you, and then she sighs, and she's like, look, we all have the same kind of research back here, and from what I can tell, we need to open a portal, electrocharge it, and jump through at exactly midnight tonight, the night of the solstice, and then we've got a shot at getting back to the present.
So we need someone who can make portals and someone who can use electricity. Sounds like we have a ride out. Why should we bring you?
Al is gonna kind of like nudge him on the shoulder and be like, because that's what heroes do.
It's good to know one of you's a good person.
How could I gain influence over her?
When you go back, get her to not be under attack by Amber and Alan.
And how could I get your character to stop pretending to have an interest in Al?
I don't think she's pretending.
Okay, stop showing an interest.
You could provide her a better option.
Okay.
I think she's just attracted to the best thing that comes along, and right now that is Al. She like breaks eye contact with you, and she's like, "The rodent kid here is pretty good at this whole good cop bad cop thing." She looks at Lucy, and she's like, "If he's the good cop, does that make you the bad cop?"
I'm at least the pissed off cop.
Can Al like hug Max and like give him a noogie and be like, "Yeah, you're the hero."
Yeah, please. You did it.
Max kind of leans into it for a second, then like shrugs Al off a little bit.
Lucy notices that.
Squire,
like we're in a Telltale game.
I think Squire like tugs on Lucy's leg and is like, "I'm sorry, there's a silent moment of like, did Max just shrug off Al?"
Also, if Squire wants to ride on the back of my backpack during all of this, that is absolutely allowed.
I support this adorable idea.
She climbs up and she opens the backpack and then sits inside with just her head picking out.
Incredible.
Perfect.
And Tatiana looks at all of you and she says, "Look, we only have 40 more minutes and I need one of the two of your teammates to stop being assholes so we can all get back to our time."
When's your time?
She looks at you and she's like, 2009? But I think that Alan and I figured out that it's a different 2009. So just like the present would be nice, you know, somewhere where I can get running water, electricity,
frozen yogurt,
a razor,
a shower.
I really would love to get a Zoom back. Like, I really miss my music.
Oh, girl, just you wait.
So, do we have a deal?
If you promise to be civil, I think we can get them to talk.
She looks at you and she's like, "If you can promise they'll be civil, I'll be civil."
I want to look at Al and just say, and try to keep it in your pants.
Al's gonna scratch the back of his head and be like, "Shut up, man."
And with that, we're gonna cut away from this scene. And we're gonna cut back over to Amber and Alan. Amber and Alan, Lucan is left to like get shit prepared on the off chance that they make it back. And the two of you are alone, like chilling near the throne there. What do you do?
Alan, are you okay? You've been acting really weird. Like, Max and I tried to have a reunion with you, and then you just wanted to go off and play war games.
Play war games? Huh. No. Protect these people? Yeah. Keep in mind, in this shot, you're going to see Alan is actually sitting behind the throne because he doesn't want to be seen by the crowd. So he's sitting behind the throne, just kind of leaning up against it, like sitting down, but he's sitting down, leaning back, his back against the back side of the throne.
I'm sitting down next to him.
I just wanted to protect these people. And she seems to have this want to kill them. So it made her my enemy.
Yeah, she's a bitch.
I'm sorry. I just want to go home. It's nice here. Clear skies most of the time. I get fed. They think I'm a god. It's nice. But I miss my bed. Even after I asked Lucan if they had anything softer, it was just like this itchy wool. It's just not my thing.
It sounds like you're sharing a vulnerability or weakness. So go ahead and do that. What is your team move for that?
It is. When you share a vulnerability or weakness with someone, tell them how they could stop you. If it came down to it, give them influence over you in clear condition. I think she already knows how to stop me.
Yeah, I think we've already done this before.
Yeah, we've done this before.
Well then, go ahead and give her influence.
She's already got that.
Yep.
Go ahead. Shift his labels.
Just remember the danger is locked right now, so it can't be moved.
Cool, thank you. I want to shift up Savior and down Mundane.
Ooh.
Oh, does that fuck you up?
No, you're fine.
Okay.
Okay, it shifted. And I can clear a condition. I can clear insecure. Cool.
We thought you were dead for 3 weeks. And then we found out, I guess only a few hours ago, that you had gone to the past. And we immediately tried to get here as fast as we could. Which, now that I think about it, it took us maybe like an hour to get back a couple thousand years, which is kind of impressive. That was cool.
Wait, you guys didn't, how did you guys get here?
Time wizard.
Time wizard. Alan's got this really strange, like, really bewildered look on his face. He's like, I was under the impression this was an alternative dimension. So this is the past. Then what's up with the cave?
I don't know what his powers is. He's just time wizard.
Interesting. Okay. Okay.
He totally has another name, but I always forget it. He's just time wizard.
Interesting. Okay, so you guys are here. Did you guys have an escape plan of any sort once you got back here?
No, he kind of just sent us away. So there wasn't really a way back.
Okay. Cataclysm crew at its finest. Awesome.
Yep.
Alan stands up and is like,
high five first.
what? Yeah.
High five first.
I give like a faint, just like a high five. And then I stand up. Alan stands up and he's like, we don't have too much longer.
I'm standing up too with him. I mean, what can we do without them?
Get stuck here until the next solstice. So 6 months.
Great.
Yeah. Good news is we installed running water, so that was new. I brought that back with me.
I just I need electricity. Like I feel like I can't go back in the past, like past 1900. I feel so useless.
Well, I'm here. You've got me. And Alan grabs her hand.
We totally get the sparks in the panel.
And at that moment, there's a flash of red light. And Tatiana leans over the back of the throne. And she's like, will you two just kiss already?
Alan looks up at Tatiana and is like,
I'm really between punching her and kissing Alan.
And his free hand is like now glowing with electricity. And he's like, where are our friends?
She like looks over at the group that is now standing on the field, kind of like 10 feet away from her. So, and she's like, they're right there, but they promised you wouldn't fight. So you have to not fight, okay?
Only if you don't.
In the panel showing the group, Max and Squire are both holding up peace signs.
From a distance, you hear Lucy yell, chill the fuck out.
I was gonna say I want Al to like do like the eye to eye thing where you like point at both your eyes and then point at their eyes, like just kind of like a I'm watching you. Don't try anything.
Just saying, of the group of us, you are the one that wanted to lead people into battle and possibly die because you were bored.
Tatiana runs down next to the throne and pulls up like a basket of like grapes and stuff, and she's like, yeah, I was bored, but now I've got the Romance of the Century to watch, so, you know, less bored now. And then she like flops over in the throne and just like watches the two of you very intently eating grapes very loudly. We get like the chew like onomatopoeia just like loudly across your faces in the next panel.
Amazing.
I love it.
She looks at all of you and she's like, look, we have like 30 minutes to get to the cave, make a portal, make it electrified, jump through it, and hopefully end up in the right decade. So, could you just like kiss already so we can move on?
Yeah, I'm totally kissing him.
Alan turns to look at Amber, and then I guess she would just kiss him.
Yep, she's just going for it.
Love it.
And this panel absolutely needs to be like sparks flying everywhere. Make it cheesy.
Oh, I think like even Tatiana's close enough that like her hair stands up on end.
Yes.
In the background, can we get like Al fake vomiting?
This better be a full panel spread, by the way.
Harbor Heroes is produced by Anthony Sheets and TP Huth, and edited by Anthony Sheets. Anthony can be found on Twitter at Icy New Year or at icynewyear.com. T is the host of Incubator on Air, a new play podcast available on iTunes, Stitcher, Spotify, and Google Play. She can be found at T Huth Playwright on Twitter or TPHuth94 on Instagram. Cataclysm Crew is GM'd by TP Huth. Flyby is played by Jane Barry. You can find her at Jane-Tarzan on Twitter. Rascal King is played by me, Anthony Sheets. Machina is played by Elliot Peterson. She can be found at Elliot Yulin on Instagram. Blue Samurai is played by William Hendry. You can find him on Twitter at RockoutWill321 or on Steam as Cypress_Grunham. Our logo was designed by Beautiful Beasties. She can be found on Instagram at beastly.doodles or at patreon.com/beautifulbeasties. The music of this issue is Mistake the Getaway by Kevin MacLeod. A link to his website and the license will be in the show notes. If you want to get a hold of us, email us at moonharborheroes@gmail.com or find us on Twitter at moonharborcast. If you enjoyed this issue, please leave us a review on iTunes and tell a friend. Word of mouth and 5-star reviews are really the best way for us to keep bringing these stories to more people. If you'd like to support us financially, check us out on patreon.com/moonharborheroes. Supporting us there will give you access to bonus episodes each month. And thanks for helping us save the world. We'll see you next issue.